Welcome to HCN Evening News Bulletin with me, Clinton D'Souza, and here are the top stories. With heavy rains expected to lash various parts of Goa over the next 2 days, lifeguards have advised visitors to the beach not to venture into the sea during the monsoon months, especially with the IMD issuing a red alert for Goa for next 2 days. Watch.
नमस्कार, माझे नाव दामोदर कारेकर आणि हांगा लायफ सेवर म्हणून कामां आसता. सगळ्यांक खबर आसतलें की पावसाळो स्टार्ट जाल्लो आसा आणि आज हांव तुमकां रीप करंटा बद्दल सांगपाक आयला. रीप करंट म्हणल्यार समुद्राचो एक असो करंट जो मनशाक भितर व्हरत रावता. चडशे लोक ह्याच करंटा भितर फसतात आनी तेंचे बुडटात आनी तेंचो रेस्क्यू जाता. म्हणून हांव तुमकां विनंती करता, समुद्राच्या उदकान चड नाकात आनी समुद्राच्या उदकान वचपाक एवॉयड करात. देव बरें करचो.
माझे नाव नीरज गांवकर. हांव दृष्टी लायफ सेविंगां एज अ लायफ सेवर म्हणून काम करता. सध्या पावसाळो स्टार्ट जाला आनी जेन्ना तुमी बिचार येता तेन्ना तुमी अल्कोहोल कंज्यूम करून उदकान देंवनाका. आनी सेकेंड म्हणजे जेन्ना थंडरस्टॉर्म लायटनींग जाता तेन्नाय तुमी उदकान देंवनाका. आनी जे तुमकां लायफगार्ड इन्स्ट्रक्शन दिता ते तुमी प्लीज फॉलो करा. थँक्यू.
नमस्कार, माझे नाव विशाल नायक. गेल्या 13 वर्सां हांव सेक्टर हेड म्हणून ह्या बिचार काम करता. तुमी सगळ्यांक खबर आसतलें की मॉन्सून सिजन ऑलरेडी स्टार्ट जाल्लो आसा, ताका लागून बीच कंडिशन हे रफ जाल्लें आसा. प्रत्येक बिचार आमचो रेड फ्लॅग लायिल्ले आसा आनी प्रत्येक बिचार आमचो लायफ सेवर आसा. जेन्ना केन्ना तुमी उदकान वयता तेन्ना प्लीज लायफ गार्डाचे जे इन्स्ट्रक्शन्स आसात ते प्लीज फॉलो करात. हांव परत एकदां मागता, काही बिचीस आमचे रॉकी बिचीस आसात, थंय स्लिपरी जावन काही दुर्घटना घडपाक शकतात. सो ताका लागून जेन्ना केन्ना तुमी बिचार येतात तेन्ना स्वताची काळजी घेयात हें हांव सगळ्यां कडेन मागता. देव बरें करूं.
Panchayat Minister Mervyn Godino on Sunday said that GST on any product can never be made zero because it will not allow manufacturers to claim their input tax credit. Godino also said that the government has been very careful while calculating the GST and had reduced GST on many of the COVID equipments. Watch.
I only want to say it is a good response and it is a very good step taken by the central government led by Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji. I think it shows the concern for the common man, for the poor people, for the youth, for the women, for all countrymen. And this is something unprecedented for the last 100 years. Almost in a century we never had a pandemic like this. Now with this pandemic, the only way to beat it is being vaccinated, and we should try to have 100% coverage in the end, because Goa is a small state, so we should see that every single person is protected. I want to compliment the doctors, the nurses, all the health workers who are taking real pains to see that the target is achieved and they are moving place to place, taking a risk unto themselves as well. I think this is the way all of us have to move forward so that it becomes a resounding success, the vaccination of all the people, of all the population of Goa.
Hello and welcome. In today's editorial, I take up an issue that people in Goa are very well versed with. The issue of defections, the issue of jumping from parties, the whole story of IR arms and GIR arms in Goa politics. Now, in July 2019, a very interesting phenomenon happened, and I think people in Goa were not really surprised when 10 Congress MLAs decided to en masse defect to the BJP, pumping up the BJP's strength in the assembly to 27 out of 40 seats. A party which started off with only 13 seats and had a mandate and did not have a mandate to rule at all. They were literally booted out by the people of Goa. The same party ultimately has cobbled a majority. From 13 seats, they are now sitting pretty at 27 seats. They have more than doubled their tally through manipulation and defection. This is absolutely clear and staring at us in the face. There are two aspects here. Why has Goa thus far not reacted in the manner that they should? You have 10 MLAs defecting, defying the mandate, going against the very promise made to the people, going against the tenet of the voting pattern. And it is very clear, and it has been happening in Goa time and again. Even in in 2017 when the Goa Forward decided to support the BJP. It was fundamentally against the line that the Goa Forward took, during the polls, and then they moved. So what is important here to note is that this particular defection of the Congress MLAs did not really go challenged by society, though the Congress party kind of moved a disqualification petition that's now got rejected, as it was destined to be, due to the political equations and the power games that get played. But at this point of time, the Congress has now moved the High Court, and only yesterday we learned that the Congress has now gone to the police station, to the Panjim police station, to ask for the filing of a criminal FIR for the alleged forging of documents when the whole defection happened. The point that I'd like to make now is that why don't we see at this juncture how the anti-defection law, which came into effect in the year 1995, has been completely manipulated and butchered, not just in Goa but elsewhere. Now, the anti-defection law, the basic premise is that for one bunch of defectors to leave one party and go to another party, you need a 2/3 figure to do it, in the sense that 2/3 of the MLAs have to en masse defect for the defection to be valid. Otherwise, these MLAs get kind of disqualified and they need to resign from their seats. But what has been happening, and in Goa and elsewhere, is that fear, that 2/3 majority deterrent, has been completely bypassed. Because what normally happens is that most of these people at that point of time have just won elections. They are regional satraps. They can win elections on their own. So very often, as in the case of, say, people like Babush Monserrat and Vishwajit Rani, they have mastered this art. They contest elections on one party and quickly jump to another party. Vishwajit has done it earlier. He did it again. In fact, he took oath as a Congress MLA and immediately fled the assembly, and within hours he joined the BJP. And then he, of course, resigned and contested the elections in Valpo and came back with a thumping majority. Now, the point is, this kind of an anti-defection law does not protect you against people who are powerful in their own constituencies and irrespective of, and do not have any party ideology. They can go anywhere. Secondly, a lot of powerful political parties like the BJP can actually afford to get MLAs on their side through means that are fair or foul, give enough benefits to them to make it attractive to leave the party and even be a non-MLA for some time till they contest again, because they are given the loaves and fishes of office. Do understand that a non-MLA can still become a minister. So if you defect and if you lose your seat, it doesn't really matter. You get sworn in as a minister and then you contest after within 6 months and become it. So now the issue is, has this anti-defection law worked? It has not worked. And do understand that right now the anti-defection law is archaic. It was thought of way back in 1978 when the Dinesh Goswami Committee on Electoral Reforms gave a report suggesting ways and means to stop defections. Rajiv Gandhi in 1988 said that these recommendations should be accepted and an anti-defection law should come into place. Ultimately, it came into place in 1995. Now, the world has changed between 1995 and 2021 because politicians of political parties have thought ways and means to bypass the anti-defection law in a manner that is absolutely unheard of. It has happened recently it has happened in Puducherry, it has of course happened in Goa, it's happened in Manipur, it's happened all over the place, and the issue is any powerful central party can afford to do it. And we all know how politicized office of the speaker, office of the governor has completely become. So I conclude by saying that what we need to do now is to make the anti-defection law more foolproof, to ensure that defection cannot happen at any stage. Nobody can leave the party at any stage. And that can only happen is if the law very clearly says that the moment you resign from a political party while you are an MLA desiring to kind of join another party, you get disqualified irrespective of whether you are 2/3 or even 100%. Secondly, you are barred from recontesting again during the pendency of that term. So the issue is, if a by-election is held in that constituency, this particular defector cannot be a candidate in that constituency. It is only and only then. Thirdly, a non-MLA cannot become a minister. So if somebody quits the party and cannot contest for 6 years, he cannot be a minister even for 6 months. Only and only then can anti-defection stop, because at the end of the day what you are doing is, by not making the anti-defection law foolproof, you are cheating the people, you are fooling the mandate, you are essentially disrespecting the people's thoughts and ideas, and in the name of so-called development you cannot be quitting. Of course, people teach these people a sound lesson in the next elections if they feel betrayed, but the wait is too long. You cannot wait for 5 years to have a defector MLA in your midst, an MLA whose party you did not vote for. Did the people in Panjim vote for the BJP or did they vote for the Congress? They voted for the Congress. That's why Babush Monserrat became an MLA. Who did they vote for in, say, in Nuve, for instance? They voted for Babashan as a Congress candidate. They did not vote for a BJP Babashan. Nor did they vote for a BJP Klafasio Dice. They did not. So at the end, they did not vote for the San Andre MLA Francis Silvera on a BJP ticket. They voted him as an MA for a Congress MLA. So this has to stop. Anti-defection law has to be more foolproof. We should be very, very clear. The moment you resign, you are out for the next 5 years. No minister.
Tika Utsav 3.0 began in Goa on Sunday. Many people stepped out from their homes to get themselves vaccinated. Watch this special story of Tika Utsav and get yourself vaccinated too.
टिका उत्सव हो तिसरो उत्सव आमच्या गांवांत जाला आनी आमी रिक्वेस्ट केल्ले मोविन गुदिनो एकदम ताका चडांत चड देव बरें करूं म्हणटा, बिकॉज आमचे विलेजीन येवन इतले आमचे सगळे लोकांक भुरग्यांक तशेंच 18 to 44 years आहा पळय तांकां मुखार सरोंक एक ऑपॉर्च्युनिटी मेळ्ळी आनी लोकांचो जायतो आमकां हें आहले आमकां बॅकअप आहलो लोकांचो म्हणटाले सराक सांग आनी आमचे विलेजीन हाड बिकॉज 45 अबाव आमचे विलेजीन 5 ड्रायव्ह जाल्ले एंड दीस इज द फर्स्ट ड्रायव्ह फ्रॉम 18 to 44 years वी स्टार्टेड टुडे आनी हांव एकदम हॅपी रिस्पॉन्स पळोवन आतां एक वरा भितर म्हाका 63 ऑलरेडी गॉट वॅक्सिनेटेड and this drive is going to carry for 3 more days, that is 13, 14 and 15 from 9:30 to 4 o'clock, and I am very thankful to all the people and chod korun youth who came out, and being a Sunday today tenso is a relaxing day, but I am very happy to see the crowd and I wish them all the best.
Our case is pending in Lokayukta. We have not abandoned any issues. We will not allow our fields to get destroyed, says the concerned farmers from Taligaon. Watch.
Land filling to asa payni to basically issue was taken by me and Xavier. Magir kine ale, Magir there are some things for which now we have decided to do certain things. Right now we are not doing anything so far as that field is concerned, but that we have not abandoned. The issue is not abandoned. Issue we are going to take it up at the right time. That yes, Lokayuktan case asa pending. लोकायुक्तान केस पेंडिंग आसा आतां जजूय म्हाका दिसता लोकायुक्ता अपॉयंट जाल्लो आसा, सो दॅट टायम वी आर डुईंग द नीडफूल दॅट वी हॅव नॉट अबॅन्डन्ड द इशू वी हॅव नॉट अबॅन्डन्ड द इशू आतां दुसरी आसा सी कितें आसता जेन्ना लढो आसता पळय न्ही झगडटा पळय न्ही लेट अस एडमीट इट टुडे it's a fact that the opposite side is having a greater say. The machinery सगळे त्यांचे कडेन आसा, मॅन्युपुलेशन ते करता सगळे, and to some extent they have been able to succeed. They have succeeded, not that they have not succeeded. But what I am trying to say is आमी जर नाशिल्ले न्ही जाल्यार ताळगांवान 2011 जो पळय फूल हें केल्लो पळय न्ही, कितें केल्लो सेटलमेंट केल्लो, सगळें सेटलमेंट केल्ली एज पर द रिजनल प्लॅन, तें आजुनूय आसा पार्टली, तें जातलें आशिल्लें. आमचें टीम फॉर्मेशन सगळें बाकीचें सगळें कितें जावपाक जाय पळय न्ही इलेक्शनान चाललें आसा. मोर इम्पॉर्टंटली हे फाटी पणजी आनी ताळगांव इज टू बी वॉच्ड. दोनूय सिटांचेर आमी अशी टफ फायट दितले कितें वी आर गोन वर्क अगेन्स्ट इन दीस 2 सीट्स. आनी जे 5 सिटां येतली म्हणटा पळय न्ही, पळयतले तुमी इन 2022 5 येता काय आनी कितलीं येता ती, येवची ना ती. हांव ताका चॅलेंज येवची ना आनी ताका सांगता पयशे मोड, तूं पयशे मोड, जाता तितले मोड, 1 कोट 2 कोट 3 कोट 4 कोट कितले जाता तितले मोड. हांव तुका सांगता तुजी ताळगांवचे आनी पणजेचे सीट येवचे ना. दॅट इज अ चॅलेंज टू यू. लेट अस सी हाव मच यू आर. तूं कितलो आसा तो पळोवया, तूं कितलो आसा तो पळोवया.
Well, that's all we have in today's news bulletin. Thank you for watching HCN. To stay updated, please do follow us on Twitter at @oheraldo Goa or even at our Facebook handles at Herald Goa, and our YouTube channels. Do subscribe there also at HCN Goa. Stay safe.